Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dream Life Loading channel. My name is Skye.
I'm Susan, and we're talking about journaling today.
I am so excited for this episode. I know I say that every single week, but we have been talking about this episode since we started this channel. We have been putting it together and putting together all the pieces and all the tips, so it's going to be a good one today.
Absolutely. This is something that honestly was the foundation of Dream Life Loading as a company, too. It was really because we journal so much, and that's where the ideas really came to life was in our notepads to make this reality. So I think it's just super, I don't know, authentic to us, and it's fun to share it with you guys so you guys can see what works for us.
Absolutely. Should we start this off kind of the same way we've been starting the other episodes and kind of share our personal experiences and then kind of share our tips and go from there?
Yeah.
Perfect. Susan, take it away.
So we were just talking about this a couple weeks ago is I we both journaled a lot and I was realizing it became a chore for me. Like journaling was not fun anymore. I just felt like I was transcribing everything in my day as if, an architect or a archaeologist was going to dig up my journal 100 years from now and need to know exactly what happened every day in the life of Susan. And it's just not reality. And it was just so time consuming. It wasn't productive. Like I felt like I was just drudging up the past and I wasn't moving forward with my journaling. So I had stopped journaling for almost all summer. I just didn't journal. And that was really sad for me because I really loved doing it, but it just didn't feel productive. So getting back into journaling, your dad had sent us the morning kickstart, and that really like revamped the whole way I see journaling and how I use journaling in my life. And now I journal every single day, and it's so productive and exciting. Like it's such a small part of my day, but I'm genuinely so excited to get to that part every day. So do you want to start talking about the morning kickstart a little bit to like
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I think Susan and I had a very similar experience. I had started journaling in April of 2020 when like everything happened, and I journaled every single day and talked about my day. And I think it was productive for me for a while because I needed that outlet to deal with what was going on in the world. And then we're so far past that now, thank God. I think with the way we change and the world changes, our journaling has to change too. So we both kind of found this new way, and the morning kickstart really was that for us. So the morning kickstart is 5 sentences, and I noticed we've both kind of shortened it as we've been doing it. So for us, I think we both start by saying, I'm grateful for, and then fill in the blank. I'm excited for, fill in the blank. I'm going to be, fill in the blank. And this is a virtue that you're going to exhibit for the day. So sometimes, often mine is, I'm going to be patient, I'm going to be relaxed, I'm going to be kind, things like that. And then I'm avoiding. So it's something you're avoiding doing, something you're avoiding thinking about, anything that you're avoiding. And then I need to. And that's your one must do today. And that's the morning kickstart. Kickstart. Those 5 things, it's should be 5 minutes or less. For me, I know for both of us, this takes 2 minutes tops because it's so quick. And then we kind of both go from there and write more if we have the time. If not, the morning kickstart is a great thing to do and be done with it if that's all you want or have time to do.
Yep. And so my morning kickstart, it only takes up 5 lines. So that's like half a page, a little less than half a page. Directly under it, I write goals and then I rewrite my goals. My big goals, my daily goals, like whatever I have on my mind and my heart that day, I'm writing out because it's so important to not just let your goals sit. I think that was something that I learned the most in 2022 was that you have to be active with your goals. You can't just write them down on January 1st and then let them sit because they're not going to do anything. They're literally going to collect dust. You need to be interacting with them every single day. And so for me, writing them out is remembering. And then as my day goes on, I'm thinking about those things because I did write them out that day.
I do the same thing, and I think taking the few minutes to handwrite every single one of your goals every morning reminds you not only of your goals, but it also kind of holds you more accountable than it would be, which I think is what Susan's saying as well. So it's just kind of taking that time for yourself as well. I know we both journal in the morning, but if you don't have time, doing this at night too would be fantastic. And I know that's something we're both actually trying to get into. So yeah, I think we both morning kickstart goals, and then I've been writing out. We actually, with our friend Liz, made some December goals at the beginning of December. So I've been writing out those underneath. just to kind of remind myself of like my more short-term goals. I kind of break it up. And then I think we both kind of brain dump. Is that next?
Yep. Yep. And I literally write brain dump and then whatever I'm thinking about. Because a lot of times my brain is like hyperactive in the morning. So I have so many things running through my brain and I'm like trying to make a to-do list, but then the to-do list gets to be a mile long and I'm like setting myself up for, failure at that point because I'm trying to understand and learn and accept that it's okay if your to-do list doesn't get done. So a brain dump for me is just like an organized space that I can just dump everything and then I can go back and organize it after. So I do a brain even make a to-do list for the day now because I find that I'm not getting as overwhelmed and I do the brain dump into the to-do list so then I can categorize my day and really prioritize what needs to be done, what I want to get done, and just it makes it so much easier to understand my day and how it's going to be set up.
I do something similar with the brain dump. I think it also depends on the day. If I wake up anxious, I'm definitely gonna try and journal and get that out first thing in the morning. Sometimes I had a really awesome day or a really terrible day the day before, and you want to kind of do what we used to do and write out the day because either you want to remember it or you want to work through what wasn't good about it, whatever it may be. So it kind of depends on the day for me, and it's kind of a nice way to round up because that's usually the end of my journaling for the day. But yeah, that's our structure. I think if there's anyone here that doesn't journal or hasn't started journaling yet, I think we should kind of go through our tips and how to get started because I think it can be really daunting to understand, okay, I want to do this, but what do I write about? How do I get into this? How do I make it a habit? All of that. So I think our tips might be helpful for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think making it something exciting. Don't make it a chore. Don't make it something like, oh, I have to do this. Like you get to do this and it should be something that you look forward to, or else it's not really going to be productive. Like you have to show up and you have to be present in that space. So I think definitely having a notebook you like, which I know you're the queen of having a particular notebook. So if you want to talk about that, like please take it away.
Susan took the words right out of my mouth. I think picking a notebook, picking a pen, picking a pencil, whatever you're going to use, even I know some people like to journal digitally and type it out, whatever, if that's what calls to you, do it. Because if you're thinking that you need to do a pen and paper and you hate handwriting, it's not going to happen for you. So, picking a journal you'd like, for me, I like when they're like flimsy like this, but not too flimsy, and the pages have to be just right. I could talk about it for hours, but like
We
spend the
do.
time. I She's right, I do. So pick what works for you, find what works for you, and I almost think spending the time to shop around and find the right journal will kind of excite you more because I know for me, I'm excited to pick up my journal and like I love the way my pens feel on the paper and we're weird, but it helps, it's something to look forward
Such
to.
a good feeling when you find the right notebook. Like if you haven't, because okay, so like this, for example, I like this notebook. It's a guided notebook, but this is not what I'm going to be documenting my everyday in because it just is too hard. And the rings, it just not the vibe. But if I have something like this that's like leather and soft, and the pages are like, oh, it just makes such a difference.
Is that your Italy one?
No, my Italy. Well, actually, I have two Italy ones. When I went to Italy, this was my Italy one. It has like a map on it, and I'm a sucker for a magnet. Like it elevates it. This is my one that was made like handmade in Italy,
Wait, they're
and
so
it's.
similar.
I know that's what I said to you last night.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've never written in this one. I don't think, anyways, because I'm like, this is one of those things I'm also getting over is that I used to be scared about journaling because if my handwriting got sloppy or if I didn't write about the right thing. Like I felt like I was always doing it wrong. And you can't do it wrong when you're doing it for you. Like if it's productive, if you feel good doing it, then you're doing it right. And that's period, end of sentence. Yeah, this literally has nothing written in it. And this is I haven't seen this since we went to Italy. It's a
Oh,
postcard
ciao Bella.
because all the guys would call me Bella. They'd be like, ciao, Bella. And
Yep.
so my aunt got me that because it's a ginger
Oh,
and
that's perfect. No,
very
I have
sweet.
to go back to what you said. So I wrote notes on this beforehand, and I said, number one takeaway, get rid of any judgment, which is exactly what you just pointed out. And that is, if you're trying to start journaling, that's the number one thing to remember. And if you want to fill half a page and be done for the day, that's okay. Like, you don't have to fill a page. You don't have to write for 5 minutes. You don't even have to finish the morning kickstart. If you do three and you're like, I'm busy, this is stressing me out, stop. It should not be stressful. It should be the exact opposite of that. So
And
it's
then
for you, it's not for anyone else.
exactly. And the nice thing about the morning kickstart is there's some days that I don't get to it, especially on weekends where like I'm trying to take my weekends and just be in the moment and not be doing work or anything else. I'll just think about those things. Even just taking the 5 seconds to think, okay, what am I grateful for? You know, et cetera, the four other things. It changes your day because you're thinking about it.
Mhm. Absolutely. I think my advice to a beginner that wants to start getting into journaling, at least you should just set a goal to journal every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes, even if it's just writing out one goal or anything. Or if you don't know what to write about your day. There's going to be something that catches your mind and makes you want to keep going. But if you make it a point to journal every single day, then you're going to get into the habit and then you're going to want to start doing more stuff with it. But if you only pick it up once a week, once a month, it's probably not going to stick. I don't know. For some people it might, but I think if you try and do it every single day for a week and see how it goes, I think that's the minimum. Just pick it up and write something.
Right. And this, so I designed this before Dream Life Floating, but this is Living Limitlessly. It's the sister book to my poetry book, Limitlessly. But this is designed for to like create a habit of journaling. So it's 3 weeks, it's a page a day. And it's broken down. So you have like your actual journaling page, and then on your reflective page, you have one thing you want to remember about today. Today I felt, and today I'm grateful for, which is kind of funny that I created this before we even knew what the morning kickstart was, because they're very similar, but it breaks it down. It's not like daunting. There's like a 3-page journaling max. So for that one day, you only have 3 pages. Like, it's not supposed to be daunting. It's supposed to be quick. It's supposed to be easy. But this is a great thing. Like, if you are just getting into journaling and you need something small that you can achieve, like 21 days, you can do it. Like, you can do anything for 21 days, and then you'll have a habit by the end of it. So that is an option if you're looking for something to ease into it.
I had completely forgotten about your book because that is the perfect thing for a beginner. And I remember getting your book and doing it, and it honestly really helped me to form new journaling habits because now I just journal with free pages because I've been doing it for long enough. But at the beginning, having a little bit of structure makes a really big difference, and you're holding yourself accountable to fill at least that one day, one page a
Yep.
day.
And I think the other thing that you should remember is that nothing has to be unified. Like, and that's something that I'm trying to let go, because once I start something, I like it to all look the same and neat and tidy. And there's some days like it just doesn't look like that. And it's okay if your pages, if you have a page that's just a list of words, then like, cool. Like, you got whatever you needed to out of your brain. I think that's the whole point.
I always was the type of kid or person, adult, whatever, that I would have my notebook for this, my notebook for this, my notebook for this, and I loved how I was the kid that would carry on like 6 journals on the family vacations, and it didn't ever stick because it was like, oh well, if I have this thought, it needs to go in this journal, or this needs to go here, and I need to make sure I do this and this one, and have your one book and fill it with whatever. Like, I wrote my journaling notes in my journal, and a year ago I would have never touched it if it weren't for the very specific purpose. So just let yourself be free in your journal. Like, let your journal take away the worries that you're thinking, and don't even like put the pressure on yourself to make it right, because there is no right, there's no wrong. It should be very easy.
Yep. Yep. I couldn't agree more.
What if you get this new journal? What do you write about? You do the morning kickstart and then you're blank. What do you do?
So we're actually running, it's not a challenge, but it's just 100 journal prompts. So we have TikTok videos that get posted daily, and then we have the whole list will be posted on our blog. So you can check that out. And it's not that you have to answer them. Like, if there's a journal prompt that you're like, oh, I want to write about, sweet. If there's one that you just aren't feeling, you do not have to. And I think that's why we structured this to not be a challenge. Like, a challenge you're supposed to try to go through each day, even if you don't want to. It's building that resilience, where this is find what you like, find what you don't like. And if you find a prompt from one of ours that you do enjoy, you can go off of that and search it more so on Pinterest or on Google to find more prompts.
And you could even, if there's one prompt that you're like, wow, like that was amazing, do it more than once. You know, like it doesn't have to be you do a prompt once and never come back to it. Honestly, the growth of doing it day after day or once a week, whatever, would be pretty awesome to try. So, lots of different options for journaling. I feel like we covered the basics and got everything out. If anyone has questions or wants like a journaling part two, kind of more in depth, I know Susan and I could talk about journaling for a very long time.
I used to make, oh, this is actually a fun thing that my students, some of them hated. But every day we would start class, I would put an image, a picture, or a word or color on the board because we had the smart boards, and they would just have to like free write for 10 minutes. So it didn't have to be about what was on the board. It could be about what was on the board. It could be about what it reminded them, but just sometimes just picking an image or a color or a word and then just letting your brain go free is fun. It was really fun. That was my favorite thing to read of my students, was to see like, okay, they all had the same thing they were looking at, but they all wrote about such different things. And those were, honestly, I got to know them the best with those responses.
That's great. I think so much of us write for our jobs or write in school or whatever it may be about topics that we don't feel passionate about or don't want to be writing about. And that puts such a negative connotation on writing. And reading, I think, is a very similar situation. So allowing yourself to write for yourself and write about things you want to write about is so freeing, and it can really open up so many doors for you mentally. And I think everyone should journal, honestly. So I hope this was helpful, especially maybe for people that used to journal and need new ways, or for people that never have. Favorites?
Okay. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you start.
Okay, so my physical favorite is this journal because I dug it out because Skye lives in Italy and got a new journal yesterday. And I was like, oh, I have one that I've never touched. So I dug this out, and this is just bringing me so much joy. I think this is going to be my 2023 journal because I was always waiting for something worth writing about. And I think 2023 is going to be the year. So this is my physical favorite.
So I have two because I obviously needed to make this new journal my physical favorite, and so I got this one yesterday, and it's like a glossy leather cover, and it's perfect, and it was at the little Christmas market, like handmade, and it doesn't get better, it really doesn't. And then my other physical favorite that's not physical, but is our new capsule wardrobe collection that I just had to talk about here, and we spent so much time and effort and talking back and forth about this collection, and I won't go into it a lot because we've already been talking about it so much on all our other platforms, but please go check it out. I really feel like it's perfect for everyone to dress to feel your best, and just gives you a nice place to see all these pieces that go together and a million different ways to wear all these pieces and create a ton of outfits. So that's my physical favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna plug that again because my husband is, how do I put it nicely? He's a frugal man, and he knew, I mean, I've been talking about this capsule wardrobe for a while. And I said yesterday, I was like, if we like made all the money in the world, what do you think the first thing I'd do is? He was like, I know you would go shop the capsule wardrobe that Skye built. Like that was his first response. And I was like, you're not wrong. Like that would be in the top 10 things that I did first. But it was just very sweet. And there was just so much thought and energy that Skye put into this. Like I can't stress it enough. It is stunning. Like the collection itself is beautiful, and it was just well thought out. And I'm very proud of you for what you did with
Thank you. I couldn't do it without you.
it. Okay, spiritual favorite. Mine has been Christmas music this week because it didn't snow until last night here. So we haven't had snow. And it's just, we've been so busy. And this is not me complaining either, but we've been so busy with Dream Life Loading. Like everything that we're doing, we're a 2-man crew. So it's a lot of work to run everything that we're trying to do. And I think I got lost in the busyness and the hustle of all of it. And so really taking this weekend and listening to Christmas music, and we watch Christmas movies and just getting into the holiday spirit, it's starting to feel like Christmas again. And I think the music is a big part of that. So I'm just thankful for that because it was feeling jolly and festive.
I have to talk about Christmas music as well. In the Christmas markets in town, last year I don't remember it, and this year in this town they play Christmas music over the whole speakers in the entire city. So it always has felt like a Hallmark movie, and now it really does. And music, Christmas music especially, really can change a mood and set a scene and it's perfect. So I completely understand and agree with that. Um, my spiritual favorite, I actually thought of this when I was putting together notes for this journaling episode. I started doing this sometime last year. I don't remember, maybe April of last year, but my friend recommended it to me and I don't even remember why she did. But basically, it's just a list of everything that makes you happy, and it's an ongoing list. I started it on my phone, and I think it would be a great journal prompt too, honestly. But having it on your phone in your notes app, I was looking at mine today from that I had started over a year and a half ago, and it's just it. If you need a mood booster, you go and look at things that make you happy, and it's not like it's just specific to you. And I think it's really nice to write things down that make you happy, and it's also really nice to go back and look at all these things that make you happy. So that's my spiritual favorite for this week.
That's adorable. Like that's really cute. And then you can go back and look at it. It's not like a different thing each day. Like it's just one ongoing list.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a giant list. I was able to find it easily. I just searched things that make me happy in my notes, and it popped up, and it was long, and it's like, oh yeah, like I do love that. And I remembered why I like wrote certain things, like
Yeah. That's so cute. That actually reminds me. It's so last year Chris and I started this tradition where we make a time capsule for that year. So I need to make our 2022 time capsule. And
yes.
and I could open 2021 and like see what's in there. I don't know
Oh
if that's how it works, but that's how we're gonna do
yeah.
it.
Do it, yeah, do it like the year before. And
Yeah.
oh,
Okay,
that's
well reminded me to do that.
yeah, do that on TikTok.
Yes, for sure. So check that out, guys.
Next week is vision boards.
Which
And
we have like so much to say about that.
and I think journaling going into vision boards literally could not be better, because we're going to spend this whole week journaling and talking about our goals, and then next week we visualize our goals for 2023, and it just can't get better than that.
So if you're planning on tuning in for next week, I would break your life into categories this week. Like just think about where your life divides. So like I know for me, I think like naturally, quickly off the top of my head, career, health, wellness. What else? What else is there?
Personal, like social.
Travel, home, like and you can make as many categories as you want. But if you're making an overall vision board, just having those in mind is going to make it so much easier.
Hmm. Absolutely.
I know about them too.
I'm excited. It's all
Me
good
too.
stuff. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and we want to hear from you. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Let us know what you're excited for future episodes, and we can't wait for you to tune in next week.
Like and subscribe.